Welcome to the Do Good X podcast, a sanctuary from the entrepreneurial grind. Hosts Kimberly Danielle and Stephen Lewis, advocates for impactful entrepreneurship, guide you on the path where purpose meets business. Join us to slow down, reconnect, and explore the challenges of under-resourced entrepreneurs, uncovering the unique journey of building businesses that make a difference. Now, your hosts.
Welcome to the Do Good X podcast. My name is Stephen Lewis, and I am a catalyst for positive change in communities and businesses. For over 2 decades, I've inspired leaders and entrepreneurs to live and work on purpose with intention, faith, and a commitment to their well-being. And I'm joined today, as always, with my dear colleague, Kimberly. Hey, Kimberly.
Hi, Stephen. I am Kimberly Danielle. To those of you who are tuning in, I am a community builder, I'm a coach, and a communication strategist who comes from generations of faith-driven leaders and entrepreneurs who believe that our purpose should drive us all to contribute to the common good. Now, I know this because I do this podcast with Stephen, y'all. And Stephen started off his introduction in such a just a little more calm and peaceful and low-key as he normally does. And I think that's a great segue into this episode today. Because today we want to create a space for social entrepreneurs and you all who are tuning in, even if you're aspiring, to really pause and reflect on the deeper dimensions of your work. So your legacy, your purpose, and your pursuit, your faithful pursuit of making a positive difference in our communities and on our environment. And if you tuned into the previous episode, we really dug into your social good footprint, which is related to your impact, your legacy, and the principles or values that drive your work. You know, it really leads to kind of a larger question of, if you have had moments in your journey, and I want to say this to entrepreneurship, but I really feel like this is a question just in general. What does the world look like, or how is the world different because you showed up? Each one of us has something unique that we bring to this world. There is no one like you. There is no one like me. We all have gifts, skills, presence, energy that is just so different from one another. And what is different in the world? Because we exist. And that's really related to impact. Being intentional about given what we possess, how do we want to offer that through our businesses to make a positive impact? How do we want to offer that to our communities? My family has has had this land for over 150 years in Virginia, which is super rare for a Black family. I mean, my ancestors who were enslaved are buried on this land. And thinking about the land and walking on the land, I don't know how in the world, especially during particular periods of time, they still held on to this land that created food because of a farm and tobacco and housed my family and fed my family and the community. And it makes me think about the legacy that they left behind. These stories, healing the community in a particular way, gifting this land to generations and generations and generations to come. So I see what they created. And then I think about, well, what is it that I am creating for generations to come behind me? Not just for those of us who are present now, but generations to come. And it really just makes me think more so intentionally and do a deeper reflection, because that then guides the decisions that I make. Or I think about, I also run a consulting business And it's so easy to get caught up in the day to day. And sometimes when that happens, I think about, well, why am I doing this? And what is the impact I want to have on the people that I'm engaging with and collaborating with in their organizations and their businesses? That then becomes a ripple effect of impact. And that then recenters me and guides my work moving forward. I'm curious to hear from you, Stephen. Have you had some moments where you have really tuned into, well, what is it that I really want to create and leave behind in my community or in the world?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you consider the 8 or 9, billion people who are on the planet and the way in which we kind of live our lives in a very short moment, when you think about history, maybe 100 years if we are lucky, but 75 years, you think about like, how can I live my life purposefully? What uh, can I bring to bear with my gifts and actually to make a greater contribution to the world and to maybe leave the world better than how I inherited? Those ask, or I should say, to invite larger questions, at least for me, to recognize that, I'm not just here haphazardly, and that the businesses that I'm working in or that I'm trying to create can really have some meaningful impact in my communities. And for me, um, I think that's important, to think about how your business and how your work contributes to the greater good. And why is that? Because, Kim, I say this all the time, and as I've traveled, across the country and abroad, I haven't yet to met anyone who said, I don't want my life to matter. I can care less what my business do as long as it generates money. I mean, I think people generally want to know that their life and their work, their body of work, and hopefully even their business has significance, positive significance and matter. And so for me, I've had these moments of existential crisis, maybe midlife crisis or early life crisis, where I've asked these bigger questions, like, really, like, why am I here? What is my work? And how do I create the kinds of businesses that actually would generate good? I think that's one of the reasons why, we have Do Good X. We want to believe that businesses can seed and do good in the world. And so, this podcast, our accelerator, and all the work that we do is trying to, I think, really trying to crowdsource people and organizations that are trying to do good in the world. And so, yeah, I would say these types of questions are always resonant with me when I think about them.
Yeah, that's really good. And I imagine some of those deeper questions might just emerge in what Stephen is about to share with us, because we are going to have a moment of meditation and reflection that he will guide us through to really think about those deeper questions around legacy, around, what does it mean to really have that audacity to believe that our work through our businesses and in the world can actually change something and leave a positive impact, especially when the world we live in can be very resistant to change and building something that's really better for all people and for all people to flourish. So get ready if you are driving. Of course, this can be a moment of reflection. And if you are walking, this can be a walking meditation. And if you're sitting, this is a moment to just be still. And in any rate, in any case, is a moment to be present with yourself.
So, what I want to do is to invite you, as we always do, is to find a moment of stillness. I want you to just, for a moment, if you can find a place where, if you're walking, to pay attention to your feet in a way that is grounded in the earth, the cement on the street or the grass, in the woods, wherever you may be. If it's a place at home that you're sitting comfortably in a seat that has a back. And I just want you to just simply be present to that and simply just to kind of relax in that space. Maybe a kind of a letting go or relaxing in this moment. And if you're so inclined, I would invite you to close your eyes or at least soften them. And just pay attention to your breath, a noticing, presencing, that your lungs are always breathing in and out, even unconsciously, and yet it is an activity that is always ongoing in this presence. And just say thank you for the breath of life. And as you continue to pay attention to your breath, sense where you are. If you're in the woods and the trees, it may be this forest, this community of trees and other saplings that are around you. If you're in your home, to recognize what's populated in your space, but just to know that you are present in community with other expressions of creation. Take a few deep breaths in and release. And one more deep breath of in and release. And just be present in that breath. I want you to use your imagination and to think of a memory of one of your favorite vacation or destination spots that you like to visit. And I want you to imagine being there in that place right now. Where are you? Are you at a beach? Where the sun is shining bright and kisses the warmth of your skin, where you hear the sea salt, or maybe you're in front of a lake or in the mountains with friends over coffee. I want you to go to that place and just get a vivid memory, a depiction of this place, this space. And I want to ask you a question. Who created this experience for you to have this experience that you call your happy place? And if you don't know, let me ask you another question. Is this one of their legacies that you get to benefit from because of their labor? Because of their labor, is this a space where you can come and unwind and to be reflective about your life and your work and your business, and to be recharged and to be renewed, to go back and return to your life, refresh and renew with greater imagination about what could be? And consider what you're able to benefit as a result of that. The late psychiatrist Carl Jung, he said one moment that these words, he says, "I feel very strongly that I am under the influence of questions that were left incomplete, unanswered by my parents and my grandparents and more distant ancestors. I believe that your business, your work, your purpose, perhaps is wrapped up in the same sentiment. As you're still sitting in this happy place, to recognize that your life has meaning, that you matter. What you put your time and attention to matters. the good that you want to seed into the world matters. Not just for you and your lineage and your children, your children's children, but many more people who will benefit from your effort, your labor. But it may also be tied to questions that were left unanswered, incomplete by previous generations. That you are the answer to their prayers. You are the manifestations of their dreams. That you are a link in a chain of those who have worked hard and labored and to help be of service to the world as they could be. And so in this happy space, I want to ask you, what could the world be if you had the audacity to dream the impossible through your life and your work and your business? Breathe into that. What future would be possible if you were to dare and be bold enough to create that future? Just dream and allow yourself to breathe into that invitation. Pay attention to what comes up. Acknowledge there may be fear, but keep living and asking yourself that question over and over and again. What might the world be because of me? Recognizing that you're not just here by happenstance, but your life has meaning. That you have a sacred contract that you're here to fulfill. That you can live your life even more purposefully. What could the world be if you had the audacity? Imagine. Imagine a world populated by people saying, feeling, sensing, seeing what? Because of your effort, because of your vision, because of your business. Was meaningful and purposeful in their lives. That solved a problem that not only they, but the world actually cared about and needed to be addressed. Imagine what this future would feel like, what people would be saying and doing, seeing and sensing, feeling in their bodies and conversing with others because of you and your work. Now imagine, what aspect of the future would grieve and mourn? If you did not set the task to make this dream, this vision, this emergence of possibilities possible in your lifetime, who would mourn? Who would grieve? What communities would be devastated because they did not and were not able to experience the gift of your brilliance? Allow that to sink in. Can you imagine this place, your memory of this place that you love to vacate in and spend time in? Can you imagine how you would feel if you never had this place to experience, to unwind? The same goes for your vision, your deep longing and dream of, not just in a cognitive way, but the dream of your soul for what could be. So one, imagine what the world could be because of you, your work, your efforts, your labor. And now imagine a world that would grieve, mourn, suffer, be devastated because you did not pursue it. And this is the place that you stand right here in this moment, in the gap between not doing and pursuing your wildest imagination. This is where legacy is born. This is where the truth-telling that you make and share of your own life gets reinforced. This is the place where you internalize the words of the late Bell Hooks, that what we cannot imagine will never come into being. So what is the audacity of your imagination about who you really are? Your gifts, your labor, and what your work and your business might be and become. So I want you to, as you continue to walk around in some of these ideas, I want to give you these questions so you have later to return back to. What might the world become because of you, your gifts, your dreams, your deep longings, your work, and the container of your business, a product or service? If you were bold enough to imagine and to work towards it. The second one, what might the world long and grieve if you never pursued? You didn't muster the boldness to be and become what it is that you dream. And the third prompt is, so what must you imagine? Don't imagine what's possible, imagine the impossible. Because that is the only thing that will draw you beyond the ceiling of what you think is possible to the stratosphere where you might be called to live and work purposefully in service to your legacy. So just let that wash over you, those three questions that just wash over you as you sit once again in your happy place. I'm going to invite you slowly return back to your place of now. Soften your eyes as you return. And to receive this call of action, I dare you. I double dare you to dream, to be audacious enough to dream and to work towards that vision. May it be so.
May it be so. I feel like, I hope that you all kind of tuned in to what emerged for you on that journey, and that you have the audacity to imagine, to think big. Yeah, that was a great way to, talking to you, Stephen. That was a great way to be present with what we're called to do, create, and be in the world, not just for ourselves, but those we want to serve in our communities, our family, generations that come behind us. It is truly, really a deep question, and looking at that gap too that you talked about. It really is, but it very much informative, because once we get clear about that, or as it unfolds, because you may not know fully what it means or what it looks like right now, but as it unfolds, it does truly guide your decisions, your actions, what you choose to do, what you choose to create, where you choose to give your energy. And that's so important. So thank you.
Well, if today stirred something in you about the imprint that you want to leave and what it's going to take in order to pursue that faithfully, we want you to be in the room with us for this upcoming retreat that we are doing, which is our Do Good X Mastermind Retreat. It is a space for founders who are ready to do and to really do that deeper work of visioning and really kind of caring for the soul of that vision together. So come and be with people who take both their mission and their inner life and their leadership seriously. And apply today at dogoodx.org, Mastermind Retreat. Details can be found in the show notes, and we hope to see you at that retreat with us.
Yes, we hope you do join us. It is really a space to do that deeper work and to do that actionable work for your business too. But until then, I hope that you just continue to join us on the Do Good X podcast, and you're present with yourself in your journey and the rest of your journey today, whatever you might be doing, and you hold those 3 questions that Stephen left us with. But until next time, be well and do good.
Thank you for listening to the Do Good X podcast. To continue the conversation or access our resources, visit www.dogoodx.org. Join us again for conversations that will nourish your soul, ignite your dreams, and empower you to build an impactful business, one intentional step at a time. Until then, keep striving, thriving, and doing good.